The RTFT Allstar Racing League is on the air. Live from Mid Ohio, it is the Buckeye 50. Tony Trapasso up in a booth with you tonight, joined as, well, no, I can't say as always, because my normal partner in crime, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, has some family matters he has to take care of. So joining me tonight in the booth is phenomenal motorsports team owner and recent top 5 finisher at the iRacing 6 Hours of the Glen, Mr. Kevin Paskowich. Kevin, how the hell are you?
Good, Tony. Glad to be here and help you guys out. We're looking forward to some fun road racing tonight in these cars that don't always turn right the way they're supposed to.
True story. And also joining us in the booth for the pre-race is going to be league owner and tonight's race control, Mr. Taylor Burris. Taylor, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing all right.
All right. So, Mid Ohio. I have to say I am very excited for this one. KP, you're I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound dumb, but go with me on it. You're a transplanted home track, originally from upstate New York, now living in the Ohio Valley, if you will. You've actually had some laps on this track, so tell us what we can look forward to, especially that turn 2 area.
Well, the first thing I'll tell you is that this track is very well done by iRacing. There are a lot of little dips and bumps and skips that are in the real track that you will feel in the game. And it's quite fun. I mean, turning laps here, it's a terrifying track, actually. There are, we call it 2.5 blind corners that these drivers are going to have to deal with. Of course, the top of the S's and dropping down into Thunder Valley. And something that a lot of people don't realize is that going into the keyhole as well, you kind of lose track of where the track is for just a split second, and it's really hard to find your marks to get out. So big, heavy stock cars, little brakes, some really tight corners. This should be a fun race to watch.
Well, you mentioned my absolute favorite corner on the track, and that is the keyhole. One of the other leagues that I run with on a regular basis uses the iRacing has given us a fantasy layout at Mid Ohio, and they call it the alternate oval. It basically uses the kink leading into the keyhole, and then one of the access roads going back towards turn 1 of the track. And you're right. The keyhole is going to be, I dare say, a key to tonight's race, being as it's off camber, blind, and right, and it's very easy to just completely lose it there. So the keyhole is going to be fun to watch.
And one of the biggest things about the keyhole too is if you're just at the right speed, just the right RPM in these cars coming out of the keyhole, you can floor it and take right off down that really nice long backstretch.
If you get it right, you get it very right. But go ahead and finish that statement.
But just a little bit too slow or even a little bit too fast, and you're either going to find yourself in the tires or you're going to find yourself watching everyone go through the keyhole that was behind you.
Yes, very, very easy to get. It's very difficult to get it right. Very easy to get it wrong going through that section, and the same thing coming down the hill out of the S's. Very, very easy to misjudge your speed going into the right-hander at the bottom of the hill.
And it's something I don't think a lot of people realize, especially watching it on television, watching the actual Xfinity cars or watching it here on iRacing, is that you actually run from the S's almost to the carousel, the final corner of the track. You run most of that in second gear, just because there's so many backs and forths, dips, bumps, corners, that it's really hard to find a shifting point. And I think the drivers that might be able to find just that little bit of extra speed through there are definitely going to be the ones that, let's say, float to the top of this grid, float to the top of the field tonight.
Well, the other thing I think you're going to see tonight too, and anybody that's watching the stream right now will notice that I have the standings up. You're going to see a lot of. I was surprised, and it took me a couple seconds to realize what I was seeing when I was watching the licensings come across the screen. And then it dawned on me, oh, wait, we're not at an oval. We're at a road course. You've got Sam Harris, who is an A-class road license. John King, A-class road license. Jonathan, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name in the 5. Another A road license driver. And then you have Alphabet Soup underneath them. So I really think those that are, unlike in real life, I think the road course ringers are going to have a distinct advantage at a place like Mid Ohio, as opposed to in the real world where seat time actually in a 3,460 pound stock car means more than road racing experience. But
yes, and
it's going to be the opposite tonight.
And right now I'm watching the qualifying times come in, and Samuel Harris right there at the top, a 1:24.928. That's incredibly fast around here. John King, second place, 1:25.79, almost a full second off, but then it drops off from there. So I think we're going to see a huge separation here, but anything can happen. All it takes is getting one wheel off. All it takes is hitting one of these curbs incorrectly or braking just the least bit too late into those S's, and one of these road course ringers can give way to one of the oval racers.
Right.
I don't think that obviously I don't think that it's settled at all. Obviously it's not. And there are a lot of places and a lot of opportunities over 50 laps to screw up and to give your race away.
Exactly.
Very true, very true. And you mentioned braking a little too late. Just based on qualifying times, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there's a lot of differences in where people are picking up their braking points. And I know we joke about it elsewhere where we call it an ARCA brake, where you use the car in front of you to slow down. I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of caved-in rear bumpers tonight.
And the one thing, again, talking about the way this track is designed, especially going down into the S's, that is a downhill, very long straightaway. But right when the braking zone starts, the gradient increases. And I think you're going to have a lot of guys who are going to try and bomb it in there for position, not realize that they're going to have to get a lot harder on the brakes. And I think that's going to be our spot to watch today as far as your ARCA braking goes.
So you're saying going into the S's?
Yes, going into the S's off of the backstretch.
Which we're seeing on screen right now. So I'm thinking the tow company is going to be... I hope they brought their sand tires tonight.
Yeah, you don't want to go off into China Beach. It's really bad when the real world guys do it because you're carrying a lot of speed. You're carrying upwards of 160 to even 180 miles an hour, depending on the type of car, down into those S's. And you're going right through the gearbox, right down to about 65, 70 miles an hour to get through them properly. So a lot of guys, if they misjudge their speed just the littlest bit, misjudge their braking zone, China Beach might be a popular place today.
So, yep. Qualifying getting ready to wrap on up here. Only 15 cars taking time. Sam Harris, John King, Jonathan, I'm not even going to try it. Sorry.
Quite sure. I don't know. Sorry.
Anyways,
sorry, John.
We're just going to call him the number 5. Then David Bigger, Steve Gauthier, Chris Gutierrez, Michael Jeans, Ronnie Osmer, who I might point out at the recent 6 hours of the Glen, Ronnie took the last stint for my team, and we actually handed him the car with a 56-second deficit. We were in fourth. We were 56 seconds behind third place. Ronnie did a yeoman's job in the last 30 minutes of the race. Went from 56 seconds behind to 5 seconds to the good when he took the checkered flag.
That shows skill.
Yeah.
That was a race to watch.
Ronnie going to be going off in 8th, then Taylor Lane, Ray Black Jr. rounding out the top 10. Jonathan Medeiros, Dustin Ping, Francois Pelletier, Zach Brew, Butch Frazier, Dallas Pataska, Jose Pabon, Sean Dewar. See, Sean, I do know how to pronounce it right. And Gary Bauer starting shotgun on the field. So 18 cars scheduled to go off in this one. Taylor's going to be on race control, so Taylor, we'll let you get to your duties up there, as looks like the field is starting to grid up. Would like to remind everybody that you are watching the RTFT excuse me, RTFT Allstar Racing Pro League, live from Mid Ohio. Tony Trapasso and Kevin Paskowicz up in the booth. Taylor, we will talk to you in the post-race, sir, and hopefully you won't have too much of a headache up there in race control. And it looks like Taylor's already disconnected, so we're good to go there.
All right, and I do have to ask Tony, this might be a little bit too late in asking, but are they running local cautions only, or are they also running the control cautions if need be?
They are running local cautions, and I talked to Taylor before the race, before we went on the air, and he informed me that they are only going to throw a caution if the track is completely blocked.
All right, well, that makes a lot of sense, and hopefully we won't have it tonight, but unfortunately it's always a possibility. Especially when you have big, heavy stock cars and this narrow, very technical Mid-Ohio sports car course.
Oh, absolutely.
So I have to ask you, Tony, I know you've done quite a bit of road racing. How does it feel? You're coming into a car that's definitely not designed to do this at a track that might be just a little out of its league. How does that feel? What's going through the driver's mind as they're getting ready to come down through here and take the green?
Green flag.
It's basically a total nightmare scenario if you're not sure what the hell's going on. As we watch the green flag come out, Sam Harris jumping out to an early lead. Field starting to get strung out, going single file as they head up towards the keyhole. It's basically just squint and pray at this point. Hopefully you've got enough heat in the tires. Hopefully, nobody from behind you steps on their junk and takes you with them. As it looks like one car is going wide through the key, or coming out of the keyhole, but everybody seemed to have made it through there relatively unscathed.
Well, here we come. We're headed down into the S's. Let's see what happens.
Let's see if anybody ends up in China Beach.
So far, so good. And it looks like most of our field's going to make it through clean, back down the backside of the S's and towards Thunder Valley. And I have to say, Tony, I was actually very surprised. I did not realize that the stock car start here was so quick. I mean, they just took 2 corners and went.
Well, when you don't set up a standing start, that's the way iRacing sets it up. Is they have you, basically starting right where the cars are right now. You grid up right in that corner that they just came out of. They pace you through those 2 corners, and you're going. Yep. Rather than make you pace all the way around.
And that's a great idea. I mean, Mid-Ohio not as long as Watkins Glen or some of the other courses, especially Road America, but it's I believe 2.4 or 2.25 miles.
Right.
And that's a long way in one of these cars. And we have Osmarov. He went through the dirt in the keyhole.
And he recovered pretty decently. Didn't seem to lose any spots. And we see a battle brewing behind him. Ray Black Jr. and Michael Jeans going at it.
Oh, this might be interesting. Oh, they're going to sort it out. Black's got the position, and they're all coming back up through the S's.
I think Jeans realized what was coming up and just said, you know what, it's way too early. I'm just going to let him have it. Now, we are doing segments again tonight. It's going to be 10, 10, and 30. So we're working lap 2 currently as we're watching Ray Black Jr. work on Ronnie Osmer right now. Ronnie Osmer, again, a youngster out of Middle Tennessee. Real talent right there. And I think, you know, it's going to be fun to watch those two actually go at it in real life here in the upcoming years with, you know, Ray having, you know, a ride and Ronnie having some offers with some ARCA teams. And
Black dumps him.
Did he dump him?
That's what it looked like. It was contact on my screen.
We're going to go to a replay of that as a chase view.
Oh, and Osmer is out. He's blown an engine.
Oh, not the place you want that engine to hand grenade. Here they are just getting ready to come onto the front straightaway. Now we're watching the replay here from the chase cam of Osmer. And yeah, Black just dumped him going into one. Just complete ARCA brake moment right there.
Oh, man, you do not want to see that. I mean,
and there goes the twiff, as Layla would call it, before they even get to the keyhole.
Yeah, back live. Whoa, we almost had a wreck. The 20 and the 19 almost get together in the top of the S's. Ooh, that was close. Francois Peltier just missing the number 20 car. He had a 4-wheel slide going, but everybody goes away. No harm, no foul.
And we're going to go watch the replay of that one.
Yeah, the 20 car just looks like he overcooked it going into China Beach.
He did. Caught a little bit. Got it sideways. Got it turned. And then, yeah, almost collected Pelletier as he tried to rejoin the track. Pelletier, great heads-up job there. Now, something I'm not sure if you're aware of, KP. Pelletier is actually one of Ray Black Jr.'s tire changers.
I did not know that.
Yes, he is.
And, well, that's very cool. Unfortunately, Ray Black is pulling into the pits.
I believe that is... Well, he's changing tires, but I'm thinking he may have gotten some damage when he annihilated Ronnie Osmer.
He's definitely got some damage, it looks like, on the right side of that car.
And that rightfully so, because he completely used what would normally have been called a chrome horn. As we're back up towards the front of the field, and 1.23 seconds from Harris to King. Half a second back to David Bigger in third. And then the number 5 is another second and a half back. And as we're watching these guys work their way, excuse me. Tonight's Heartburn brought to you by Hoffman Hot Dogs.
Oh.
I just said the magic words, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Anyone who's from upstate New York or in the Syracuse area will get that reference, unfortunately. Delicious, not nutritious.
Yes, but so damn good.
So as we're watching, I mean, right now it looks like the top 5, top 7 or so are strung out. I figure you say they have to be cruising right now about halfway through this first segment.
Well, you got the top 4, and then there's over 2 seconds to fit.
Yes. So, yeah, it looks like the closest battle on the track might be back towards the back half of the top 10 right now.
I'm trying to find one. As
right there, it looks like Taylor Lane and Jonathan
Dustin
Piro.
Ping just loops it coming out of the keyhole. Let's go to the replay on that one. It looks like he may have had some help. Let's back that up just a tick more. Here they are coming into the keyhole. You see Jose Pabon and Ping.
Ooh.
Ping trying to avoid,
Yep.
and they went 3 wide with Pelletier, and you can't really fault anyone there. Ping trying to avoid Pelletier, Pavon having nowhere to go. They went 3 wide. There was contact. No
Right.
harm, no foul. The 20 is able to continue on, and we are back live.
Yep. And Ping, I've just been watching him here this last lap or so. He's struggling a little bit. He off into China Beach again on the last lap, so he's not taking like a duck to water with this road racing tonight.
No, he's not, and currently sitting 7th in points. Pellets, we'll give a quick rundown here of the point standings as soon as I can bring them up, and apparently I can't. Awesome.
All right, you can actually, if you're watching, depending on what screen the viewers at home are watching here, you can actually watch. These brakes are glowing cherry red as these cars get down into the S's. Just a testament to how fast these cars are going and how quickly they have to slow them down.
Well, you can see it right there on Ping as he got into the keyhole. Swings it a little bit wide on the exit, but you can see him going in. There was definitely red behind that yellow on his rims.
So they, the day that fire is confirmed in iRacing will be a very interesting day for these stock cars at road courses.
You think?
Oh, yes. So we're watching right now.
I'm watching the 13 and the 57 go at it. That seems to be our closest battle on the track right now. It's Dustin Ping in the 13, David Bigger in the 57. A Road A 4.86 safety rating against a C 2.38. And John King definitely has the experience over Bigger in the road racing.
You can definitely see it. I mean, just watching them go through the keyhole that last time, he just lets it go out. That's a double apex corner, and he just lets it go out a little bit and then cuts it back in. Unfortunately, Bigger right now, he's not quite doing it. He's not quite following that same line, and he might have a little bit faster car overall, but he's definitely not making it easier on himself with his line right now.
And this is what we touched on in the pre-race about the haves and have-nots as far as road racing experience. Sam Harris, roadside iRating, 2167. John King, 3519. The biggest difference is King hasn't run as many races with this league as we watch Bigger get a run down the front straightaway and take over second place. So good on you, David.
Yeah, nice move there. And that is a prime passing location.
Yes,
of course, in the real world cars here, you can actually get a little bit more speed up going down that front stretch.
And you can really see. I don't mean to interrupt, but you can really see what you were talking about earlier with John King. As we watch those two cars come into the keyhole, King is using a ton of front brake.
Right.
You saw the 57 glow. The rotors weren't really glowing, but on King's 13, they were cherry red. As the leaders are already into lap traffic.
Yeah, as we have one car off as the leaders go around.
That's the 05 of Zach Brew.
Yep.
As he's mowing the lawn with that splitter in the front of the car.
Yeah, something that we've already seen quite a bit of tonight, and we'll see a lot more of, I'm sure. But,
Absolutely.
I mean, it is, if you can run a good, consistent lap, a 126, a 127 lap here, you can run upwards of 10 seconds quicker than some of the other cars in the back of this field. And this is such a short track that after 9-10 laps, depending on who gets off track, who has issues, you can lap through this field rather quickly.
Well, we're already seeing it right now with Sam Harris leading the way. His best lap is a 25.838 in race trim. as we watch the 57's rotors start to glow, and there's the 13 still glowing on exit. That's how hot he's getting those brakes.
Yes.
But, conversely, you take a look at like Dustin Ping and Ray Black Jr. Ray Black Jr.'s best lap, 127.034. Dustin Ping's best lap, a 132 flat.
Yes, and that is a huge difference. And I want to update our viewers, if there are any Ronnie Alsmer fans out there, he is back on track. And unfortunately, he also just spun it going into the S's and just barely missed ending up in China Beach.
Well, it's good that Ronnie's back out. He's just got to find Zach Brew and contend with him, which there's only a 28.9 second gap, so I don't see that gap staying that large for that long.
He was up with them. He was running in traffic. I just went to the replay and looked on my screen, and he was running with them, and he just overcooked it going into the S's, spun out, didn't really hit anything, gave the wall, that outside wall, just a little tap, and got it righted and kept going.
Right.
So I think he'll be back.
Well, he'll be back in the position to to contend for a lucky dog should we get a full course caution. As right now we're watching John King and Jonathan. KP, go ahead. You're better at dribbling than I am.
All right. Well, we're watching John King, and I believe it is Jonathan.
Decatech?
Man, I can't even figure that out. The Koisher? I'm sorry, Jonathan, if I'm murdering your last name, but that's a pretty good race right now. King trying to hold on to that third position.
What I'm thinking is going on, and I'm watching the rotors on the 13 just get redder and redder and redder and redder, and it just glow brighter and brighter with every lap. I'm thinking he might be using up his brakes.
That's as I'm watching him go through the through the carousel here back onto the front stretch. His brakes are glowing in a part of the track they should not be. So he is.
They're glowing at the end of the straightaway.
So he's definitely using that brake. Everything that car's got right now.
Just before he hits the brakes, they're still glowing. So
as my grandfather used to say, he could roast a hot dog on the wheel. So
true story. I mean, we see, the 5 gets a little red. I'm thinking he's not running quite as much front bias. Why do we have a caution?
And that is the end of segment 1.
That is the end. Okay. So that's going to put Zach Brew back on the lead lap thanks to the lucky dog.
Yep, we only have 2 cars lapped down, so Ronnie Alsmer just keeps his wheels under him. We know he'll be back on the lead lap by the end of that second segment.
Yeah. So good to see that Osmer is able to rebound. The only thing is he's already used his fast repair.
Yep. So unfortunately for Ronnie, but he is a smart kid. I've raced a lot with him, and I think he could be back up and salvage a top 5 or even a top 10 or even a top 5 out of this race. Now,
KP, I know I've sung Ronnie's praises, but I want to see if you agree with this statement. Ronnie, he's 17 years old. The kid is just a phenomenal. He's quick as all get out. If you give him a setup that he's comfortable with, he'll put down a lap time that'll blister a track. But,
most definitely.
But the young man also has what we commonly refer to as racecraft. He knows when to go and when not to go.
We've raced with him quite a bit in the Indy cars, and I can definitely say that. I mean, it's almost a sixth sense, at least in iRacing, and if that transfers over to his real world sport, then I really think the kid will be somebody.
Well, at 17 years old, he's already got a couple of ARCA rides under his belt.
He does, and for good reason. He runs very cleanly, and he will watch the cars around him. He'll watch the cars in front of him, and he knows if it's a car he has to pass. He knows if it's a car that he can run with, and he does it very, very well. And it's very fun to watch him, actually, having run with him as a teammate in 6 hours, having run against him in the Indy cars and some stock cars. He's a very, very smart young man.
And he's really starting to pick up the dirt side of iRacing quickly as well. With zero dirt experience, he's really starting to come into his own on the dirt as well as the pavement.
Yeah, run some dirt races against him too, and of course my background actually is dirt, and I was surprised at how good he was for the lack of experience he had.
Now, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about the 55 there that you see on screen right now. Ronnie Osmer with the blue and flame job, painted much like his true-to-life super late model is. So, yep. I dare say that if there are any driver development programs for any of the major teams out there that are looking for a young talent, that the kid's got just an awesome personality too. He's not a cocky little shit like some of the other youngsters that we run with on a regular basis. He's very respectful young man, very articulate,
very professional as well.
Yes,
half dressed professional.
That's the word I was looking for. At 17 years of age, he's more professional than a lot of cup drivers that are out there right now. So again, if there are any developmental programs out there looking to bring aboard a youngster that is going to suit you well for the next however many years, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, Ronnie Osmer has the potential to be the next Joey Logano.
I would agree.
As far as being a young driver brought up quickly and can hold their own in anything you put them in.
Yes.
Without the attitude problems that you've seen from the driver of the 22.
Yeah. It's very true. And I just want to bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Sorry,
No. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to let you know, we have had some pit stops. It looks like David Bigger pitted from the second position, and several cars behind him have pitted. So a couple of takers on this caution flag, and excuse me, we could see a very interesting restart here in a lap or so.
I would have to agree with you there. As far as people that have already been to the pits, Ray Black Jr., we saw him pit very early. As far as this current caution, Bigger, Jeans, Gutierrez, Lane, Pelletier, Dewar, Frazier, Pabon, Ping, and that's it as far as who pitted this time.
And I think it'll be very interesting to see just how strategy works out with these segments, because something a lot of people don't talk about, the tire wear here really isn't horrible.
It looks like we're going live.
Green flag.
Oh, yep.
Pace car ducks in, and Harris sideways coming out of the final corner onto the front straightaway, but collects it up. The 5 drops way low. Way off the pace is the number 5 Tide car. It's,
Whoa, and oh no, Bigger is around. He's in the sand trap out of turn 1. So
gets it collected, and that car's smoking.
We have somebody hard into the wall in the keyhole. Who was that?
That is Medeiros in the 84. Pancaked the right side of that car. Let's go to that replay.
Oh, that looks like it hurt.
Yeah, it did. You see him coming up the short chute here from between turns 1 and 2 into the keyhole, ducks to the inside of the 5, and just cooks it. And I think that was a first you say it, then you do it moment for Ronnie Osmer, because he spun it right in front of Osmer.
Whoa, and we have two more cars, the 8 and the 22, or the 08 and the 22, both get around going into Thunder Valley. And that looked like it might have been a little bit of animosity there, Tony. They had a couple cars rubbing on each other coming out of the S's, and I think that might have not been entirely accidental.
Well, let's take a look. We're watching him
You
here.
take a look at the
The 22 just bombed it in there. And that's going into the S's, and the 8 just turned into him and took himself out. And then almost takes out the rest of the field.
Yes, that is not a good place to wreck.
Yeah, no. As the 57 and the 84 get into it, trying to avoid the 08 and the 22. Both cars went around the 08 and the 22 both went around, able to get him spun back around and going again. But that was, the 8 just turned into him. You watch the wheel go to the right, and looks like the 22 is taking it pit side.
Yeah, man, that section of the racetrack, that is a clinch moment, because if you're behind that, your options to get around it or get through it are very limited.
Yes. And Sam Harris has just checked out. Flat checked straight out. You see him there at the end of the screen there as we're following John King in the 13. 2.5 seconds to the good right now. And then you're another 2 seconds back to third place, the 5. So.
And the 07 car is off in the carousel.
The 55 is as well.
Yeah.
Let's take a look and see what happened to the 55, because it looked like did he have help? No, he just came over the hill, and as I commonly refer to it, he stepped on his crank.
Yep. Well, that's going into Thunder Valley. That's a blind corner. It's got a very steep drop off, and if you're not prepared for it, you kind of have to lift just a little bit right there to settle the car. Some drivers may even just tag the brake a little. If you don't do that, if you keep on the throttle through that corner, you're gonna spin it 9 times out of 10, and that kind of looks like what he did.
Yeah, as right now we're watching Taylor Lane just bomb it in there on Ray Black Jr. The 07 kind of having a little bit of an issue right now. He's got his teammate behind him, Francois Pelletier, trying to reel in the 07. And,
I want to tell you.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm back here watching some of these battles back through the pack, and Sean Dower right now, he's looking like he's running a really nice, clean race, running some good lines, trying to keep his car clean. And I just wanted to give him a shout out, because he's running a really nice race right now, a little bit further back in the pack, but his line looks good. He's not overcooking the brakes.
It looks like he may have had an ARCA brake moment behind him. I know it wasn't Ronnie, but the rear end of that car looks like it backed into a telephone pole.
There is a little bit of damage there, which is not uncommon, as we know, in these cars in general, but very specifically on this course.
So we're following along right now with Dower. He's got Ronnie Osmer behind him, who's a lap down, and then Michael Jeans in the 08. Currently trying to reel him in. Osmer just trying to keep the car clean right now so he can get the lucky dog in a couple laps here, as we are working lap 17 of 50.
Osmer even gave him a little bit of a look there down into the S's, but thought better of it.
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the whole racecraft thing. Osmer realizes he's a lap down. He realizes that it's only lap 17. It's not the time to make that move yet. Wait till you're back on the lead lap. Wait till it's the closing laps of the race, and then you can, hand grenade somebody. As he just gives room to the 08 of Jeans as they come into Thunder Valley again. Jeans' car, that tangle with the 22 really tweaked that car.
Yeah, there's a bit of damage. I don't think it's anything that's going to affect his drive horribly. Of course, this track is
as he
not
gets into
incredibly.
Dower,
Oh no.
or Doer, I should say.
Yeah, Doer. I'm sorry, Sean, if I got your name wrong. But
Well, I find it funny that he shoots me a PM, goes, "Hey man, it's Doer, not Dower." Oh shit, dude! I had you in an interview and you didn't correct me then. But anyways, owner of Old School's Paints. Look them up on Trading Paints if you need paint schemes for your cars. I know he said last time we spoke to him that he was a little bit on the busy side with I believe it's a 10-car team looking for some paint. But if you're looking for one of the best, Old Schools is definitely where you're going to want to look as we watch Jeans get offline there again. Yep. Osmer giving him plenty of room.
Yep. And yeah, you're right, Tony. That 08 car, it's just, it's curvy in all the wrong places, and it's flat in all the wrong places right now.
Yes, very much so.
Oh, and Osmer goes around. Oh no, Ronnie in Thunder Valley just looped it, didn't hit anything. It looks like he's on his way again.
And while we're getting ready to start this lap, we're going to ride along with, we have it, yes we do have a helmet cam on him. This is what Sean Harris is seeing. Or sorry, Sam Harris.
No.
This is what a quick lap looks like around this place.
And he is very good. Clips the cones just a little bit there, but he is really running a nice clean lap through here.
As comes into, there's China Beach on the left, coming into the S's, over the rise.
Drop back down to that right-hander, and you've got your left-handed kink, and now you're going to go up into Thunder Valley, over that crest.
And you see him just a little twitch there as he's going to have the lapper, and the 05 gives him plenty of room for now.
I think that 05 car is going to look like a modified by the end of this one.
It's already starting to.
Very true.
As we get ready to go into the carousel.
We're coming down to complete.
Late apex in this one.
Yep.
And the 05 later apex. A lot of patience being shown right now, and that's really eating into Harris's lead, being stuck behind that 05. I think right now he's just waiting for the 05 to step on his own crank again so that he can get around.
Well, I think we're coming up to it should be the end of the segment here. As the 05 cuts him off. Let's see.
This is where race control should step in and go, hey, what are you doing?
Yep, all right, there we go. There we go. Sam Harris gets clean past the 05 as they head down into the S's. Nice work.
But right. That's what Harris is seeing. So we're gonna go back to an outboard camera.
We're flipping back through the field here, watching everybody run down through. Not too bad right now. Everyone just kind of strung out just a little bit, cruising. I think everyone's probably getting ready for that caution that's going to be coming out here soon to end the second segment.
Now, the bad news for Ronnie Osmer. Chris Gutierrez has gone a lap down in 22. We just watched Zach Brew go a lap down.
Yep.
And that's going to give, if Brew can finish this lap and not die, that's going to hand him.
And Gutierrez goes around, so that might not be the case.
Well, the question is, did he collect Brew when he did it? And when is the caution going to come out?
It did look like they got together just a little bit there. And the caution flag is out. Boy, I don't know if that's going to affect it or not.
Well, Tony. Here's the thing. If Brew and Gutierrez got together, that's going to hand the lucky dog to Osmer. Because he's the first car a lap down who was clean the previous lap.
And to me, it almost looked like the 05 and the 22 there, they were racing for that lucky dog position, and it looks like they're giving it to Zach Brew. He will be waved around the pace car.
Fair enough.
Man, that's not something I would have expected, unfortunately.
Apparently
you
there
got
wasn't
your driver.
contact.
Was there or was there not?
Apparently there was not, because it would not have given Brew the lucky dog if there was.
Well, it looks like the race control may be calling the lucky dogs because it says that he was waved around by race control. So
okay. So.
Yep. So we're looking for the leaders here. So everyone running around pacing.
Trying to find the pace car, which is just rolling out of the pits now in front of Sam Harris as they go into turn number 1. So we've got, the guys that started towards the front are still at the front. Harris started on the pole, still there. Then John DeKeischer, John, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, started third, currently sits second. John King started second, currently sits third. Steve Gauthier started fifth, currently runs fourth. Your current big mover of the race sits in seventh. It's Jose Pabon, started 17th, currently sits in seventh. So,
and I want to point out something is wrong with the number 5 car, Jonathan DeKeischer. He was in second, and he just rolled straight off the keyhole into the tire barrier. And he is still sitting there. He does not appear to be moving. And that's unfortunate. He's been holding it hard all race long, been holding it up there in the top 5, and now looks like he may have connection issues, and he is out.
Yes, he's blinking worse than me after waking up with the cat laying across my head and having hair in my eyes.
Yeah, that's as my grandfather used to say, is blinking worse than a strand of Christmas lights. But as we're running here down through Thunder Valley, getting ready, looks like, to see who our takers are going to be on pit road.
Yes, we are. So
and what do you think, Tony?
Harris has been out there 22 laps. King, Gauthier have both been out there 22 laps. We're probably going to take the green at about halfway to go. So yeah, we see the leaders coming down right now. Look like Gutierrez stayed out to get the wave around. Osmer staying out to get the wave around, so they're now back on the lead lap.
I mean, you would have to expect, though, that's an awful big gamble, knowing that the chance of another caution is very slim. Granted, they get to come all the way back around, but I believe most of these cars, they should be able to make it from here.
They should be. Now, if it were me and I were both Osmer or Gutierrez, I would duck in real quick just for a splash. I'd gamble on my tires from here, call it good, and go from there.
Well, like I said, Tony, the tire wear here isn't horrible. But yes, I do agree. I think if you're Ronnie, if you're Gutierrez, definitely hold, wait, get waved around, which they have been waved around the pace car. We see Ronnie and Jonathan.
And they should have enough of a gap where they can dive into the pits, get some service, get back out, and then try to cold trickle the field.
If we are 1 to green, we are 1 to green.
We are 1 to green.
Yep,
so
the lights.
And then all you got to do is just run your pace and wait for everybody else to step on their own cranks and start picking off positions.
That's true. I believe a driver who's capable of running probably a 129, a 128 or 129 average right now, could easily start in the back of this field and just pick their way through the incidents for a top 5.
Right, and if you take a look at Ronnie Osmer, you know, he can do 128s no problem.
Yep. And I think that's really all you have to do, because outside of the top 1 or 2 cars in this field right now, we're going to have some wrecks. We're going to have some incidents.
Well, now here's the thing: you've got Harris, and he has Ray Black Jr. starting right behind him.
Green, green, green.
So we'll see how this goes.
And I'm expecting an ARCA break in the next corner if he can catch him.
That's the thing. Might not. And we have one car on the front stretch. It looked like the 5.
And Ray Black Jr. just eats the Armco.
Oh, that hurt. That would have been a hit in real life that would have left him sore in the morning.
If you Wikipedia the phrase "stepping on your own dick," I believe that's what we just witnessed. No offense, Ray,
Yeah,
but that's what we just saw.
And that, I mean, again, you get out of that corner, you drop a wheel off. That's what's going to happen. Best case scenario, you're spinning in front of the field, 360. Worst case scenario is what just happened to Ray Black Jr.
Right. You know, and right now it's still, you know, touch and go right now with Gauthier sitting in second and King sitting in third. You know, you got 2 A's and a B. That's a pretty damn good report card.
Yeah. And we have Ping, who just lost it going into Thunder Valley. No harm, no foul. I think he's still on the road.
Yes, he is. Still up to speed. And Osmer is just cranking one right now. He is on the lap. And Dustin Ping, no, I'm sorry, Steve Gutierrez did exactly what I said I would do.
Sorry, we have a big wreck out of the final corner. It looked like Ray Black Jr. and let me look here. I believe it was Sean Dewar. They might have gotten together coming out of the carousel.
Well, let's back that up and see what's going on here. You see Dewar blinking a little bit. As we see the 84 in there. The 84 gets turned by Black first. And no, Dewar was on his own. It was the 84 that got into Black.
All right. Well, came up.
I'm sorry, Black got into the 84. Just turned him coming out of the carousel.
All right, and I'd like to note that Black is out. Ray Black Jr. is out of the event, as well as Zach Brew now. So their days are effectively over.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm thinking Race Control Park Ray Black Jr. We'll confirm that with Taylor during the post race. But yeah, Dewar just lost it coming out of the final corner. Didn't hit anything, got back underway, and he is cranking one off right now as we're back towards the front of the field. Let me get back live. As they're going into turn 1, as we're watching Steve Gauthier work on Sam Harris.
Ooh, we have some cars dropping that wheel off out of 1. That's it's great for a little bit of extra speed and momentum, but man, it is a dangerous game of pool there, poker. So,
well, the thing is, you're basically effing yourself because you're going down that short chute. It's not enough time as we watch Sam Harris just annihilate the cones. You're not gonna get the tires that you dip off clean enough by the time you get to the keyhole. So that's kind of flirting with disaster. Cue the Molly Hatchet.
Yeah, flirt with disaster, definitely. I mean, that is very easy to do around this course. Again, we keep coming back to it. Big, heavy stock car, little brake, really tight corners. You have to flirt with disaster to be fast here.
Absolutely. As we're watching the top 3 start to gap David Bigger.
Yeah, they're starting to pull out just a little bit. And I think that's what we're going to see. I mean, these guys, now is the time to go. If they've been saving anything, start pushing it, start, ratchet it up to maybe 5 or 6 now. Get it so that it might just be a race between you and 1 or 2 other cars.
And that's
get some
really
of
what
those
you
other
have to
guys
do.
behind you.
That's really what you have to do at a place like this. As we watch Harris just did a cone like stand your sister up for a date, bud? Holy Christmas!
I think there's a point where where we think that it might be showboating a little as he
mean like
tries to
there?
take out all the cones again.
It's just
Uh,
good grief.
Hopefully, these digital cones don't do any damage to the cars.
Well, what was it? A shoe at
Oh,
as Gauthier gets it sideways. Now he's got to deal with his teammate King.
and it looks like King's going to pass him cleanly coming out of the S's. We'll see what they can do as they head up into Thunder Valley. All right, looks like everyone just kind of keeping it in line right now. A little bit of pressure, but nothing too bad. Still might be just a little bit too early to push.
Just a tick.
We are coming up on, I think it's, 22 to go this time by?
23.
23 to go. Okay, thank you, sir.
Working lap 28 of 50.
Those we're watching everyone come around. And another thing, Tony, I mean, this track has many interesting things for any cars that might be gambling a little bit on fuel strategy. Excuse me, fuel strategy here. If you run out, the front stretch here is uphill as well as pit road.
Yeah, so you're kind of out.
And I've actually witnessed it several times in the Xfinity cars as well as in other series that run at Mid Ohio. Even if you run out of gas coming through that final carousel corner, the chances of you making it back to your pit stall are very slim.
Oh no, they're between slim and none, and Slim's already got his coat on.
That's very true. If you burn it going into pit road and decide a speeding penalty is better than a tow, then you'll make it. But
Right.
Otherwise,
yeah, you're not making it otherwise, unless you've got one of the first like 2 or 3 stalls.
right? This course, I mean, it's a big uphill and it's a big downhill. I believe it's almost 100 feet differential between the high point and the low point on this course. But unfortunately, the high points past the front stretch and the low points before the front stretch. So
yeah, as we're watching Harris start to really stretch his legs right now, working lap 29 of 50. It's a 3-second lead right now over John King. And King starting to gap his teammate. Gauthier right now.
Woo-hoo. I don't know who that was.
Bigger goes by on the outside, going through the backside of the keyhole as Gauthier gets back by him on the exit, and they're in lockstep going down the back straightaway.
I just want to point out,
which isn't that straight.
Tyler Lane, sorry, just stepped out horribly going through turn 1. I don't know how he saved that car, but he did.
As we watch Gauthier almost take a trip to the beach and almost collect the 22.
He climbs back on, and that's it's really what you have to do if you go off there and collect it. You have to come back in on that crest. But it's so narrow there, it's really easy to take a few cars with you.
I'm sorry, that was Lane he almost collected.
So,
as he's working Francois Pelletier right now.
And his day has just gone from bad to worse. I mean, he up to second, and now he's going to go off.
And there's the tires.
Into the tire barrier.
Oh, jeez. It just pushed it, and I've got to think, we saw him just cook the rotors earlier. I'm thinking he's just completely cooked the entire braking system. He's probably got the brake fluid boiling right now.
It's very possible. Those brakes were very, very hot earlier in this race.
I'm sorry, that was John King we were following earlier. in the 13, the teammate to that car. But as I'm looking, they're probably running a very similar setup as Gauthier, cooks the brakes going through the keyhole as well. But to his credit, John King has reeled in Sam Harris. It was a 3-second deficit, now down to 1.95. So King starting to push right now as we're going to be 20 to go this coming time across the stripe.
Might have a really good race shaping up here, and I think there might even be some lap traffic up ahead for these guys.
There is. You can see it in every once in a while. The camera will catch the lappers, but this goes back to what we were talking about in the pre-race: the haves and the have-nots. Two of your A-class drivers with pretty high I ratings. Not super high, but you got a 2167 and a 3519, both A-class. Being the class of the field right now, is the deficit is now 1.5.
So he is pushing, and the 55 goes around again, going into the Thunder Valley. But again, nothing collected, no harm, no foul, and he's
You're not
still
live, sir, because he just came through turn 1.
I am not, am I?
No.
No, I'm live.
The 55 or the 555?
The 555.
Oh, okay, because you said the 55. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
55 was on pit road. Or he was on pit road. I believe he had to finally come in for fuel.
Yes. Working lap 0 right now. Currently 1 lap down. But considering that he got punted earlier while running top 5 and hand grenaded an engine going out of turn 1 and had to take that the entire tow, I think Ronnie Osmer's had a phenomenal race. Considering.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta grit your teeth and go, and I think that's what he's doing right now, is just kind of gritting, bearing it, and going to the finish.
Well, he's had the same kind of luck that you normally end up having, where Officer Murphy's standing in your pit stall going, nope.
Yeah.
At which point
sometimes if it weren't for bad luck, there wouldn't be any.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So.
And for those of you who don't follow the IndyCar series that I normally broadcast, we normally jokingly refer to Danica Patrick as having Kevin Paskowitz luck.
I have no comment on that.
I call him like I see him, Kev. I call him like I see him.
Yeah.
As the deficit at the line, 1.3.
So it is definitely closing up.
And David Bigger is starting to reel his, rear his head into the game now, as he was 2 seconds back, now down to looks like 1.75. As you see him, third car in screen right there. As the 555 getting ready to go a lap down here.
We could see a really good race to the finish here. As we've seen in the real cars here, we've seen a couple of chrome horns. I believe a couple years ago, Reagan Smith moved one of the Penske cars out of his way. Well, 555 is going to give him some room. He's going to get around him.
And that's what you were talking about, is if you can get the drive coming out of that corner. We saw the 98 get a better exit, and the 555 trying to stay off him. You saw just how easily that pass was made at corner exit.
Very true. I mean, it's, like I said, if you hit the exit of that corner right, you can just mash it and go. Even in some of the higher downforce cars, even in the Indy cars.
Right, as we're watching John King right now work on the 555, giving him plenty of room. Just lets him have the line going into
Yep, that was Thunder Valley, I
Thank
believe.
you. My brain completely shut off.
That's okay. That's why I'm here.
That's
So,
why I'm glad I asked you to join me tonight, KP.
oh, my pleasure. It's been a fun race to watch so far, and I think we're shaping up to have a really good run to the finish.
Absolutely. And for those of you just subscribing to BOFA Broadcasting, we will be adding 2 more series to the mix. The Race of Champions. Oh, and the 55 eats the tire barrier coming out of turn 1. We will
Oh
be adding
no!
the Race of Champions SK Modified Tour, as well as the Roadkill Racing You Suck Sprint Car Tour.
So obviously, 2 series, Tony, that might look at racing a little bit on the lighter side.
A lot bit on the lighter side. Uh, and if you want to get involved in any of the series, just drop a comment below with your iRacing name, and we'll try to make sure that those get added to the proper channels. Now, the series that you're watching right now, the RTFT Allstar Pro Series, live from Mid Ohio. For those of you looking to get involved in the Tin Tops, as I commonly refer to them, the Xfinity cars run by the RTFT. Again, drop a comment below with your iRacing name, and we'll make sure that Taylor gets you an ad to the league. Sunday night is their what they call their AM series, their amateur series, the rookies, if you will, the less experienced in the league. They're basically their feeder series, and if you run well enough there, you'll get a call up to the Monday nights.
Yeah, it's a fascinating way that they've set this up. I know there are several series in iRacing that do this, but it's a really good way, both for the veteran drivers of the series to kind of look at new drivers and look at what they're doing and look at what their abilities are. And it's a good way for the drivers, too. If you're not necessarily familiar with, say, an Xfinity car or a Tin Top or an Indy car, then it's a good way to learn that form of racing.
Right,
As well.
and the other thing that they do right is it's a fixed series, so you don't have to worry about knowing how to do a setup. You don't have to worry about the only thing that you can adjust when they hand you the car for the night is you can adjust the front to rear brake bias, which as we've been speaking all night, John King seems to be running a lot more front bias than the other cars.
And that's understandable. This track, these corners tend to be so tight here that you really don't need that rear brake to help you steer a little bit. You're not going to have a lot of guys that are going to jam on that brake to set the car. It's all about getting the car woed down into the corner.
Right, but what I think is, a lot of the other drivers went for something where they're not going to just cook the ever-loving bejesus out of the tires, and they're using more rear bias to help the rear tires stop the car rather than just depending almost completely on the fronts. As we watch those brake rotors just glow going into the keyhole downhill.
Yes, it's, like I said, you're carrying a lot of speed through many different parts of this track, especially into the keyhole, especially into the S's. And you need brakes late in the race.
Yes, you do. Yes, that's very, very true there. As Sam Harris is starting to he's found his rhythm again, which is dangerous for the rest of the field, as he's now got a 4-second lead.
And I'm wondering if maybe his chasers, I'm wondering if King and maybe Bigger just didn't cook those tires and cook those brakes trying to get to him.
Pretty much. The closest battle right now is the battle for fourth, which is Francois Pelletier in the 19 and Jose Pabon in the 88 go at it, coming out of Thunder Valley, getting ready to go into the carousel section.
And this, Tony, if you ever come to a race here, I recommend for anyone watching that there is a viewing section on the inside of the carousel, and it's great. You have a really a more than 180-degree view of the racetrack.
as we watch David Bigger eat the tire barrier coming out of the final
Yep.
corner. As
Oh, man.
Pabon gets by Pelletier going through turn 1, that's now your battle for third.
I don't know. This looks like it
And
might be a drag race into the
Pelletier comes
keyhole.
back on him, coming to the top of the keyhole. Pabon gets the line. Pelletier gets the drive out, though.
Yep, and here we go. If he can just get it. Yep, and Pelletier is going to look to the inside. Pabon's going to block him. And this could be really good going into the S's.
This could get very interesting right here as they go into the braking zone. Pelletier with a little bit wider of a line, able to carry a little more speed through the first corner. Pabon got the defensive line going right now. Now, mind you, this is your battle for third, and it's really starting to heat up. This is an intense battle right now.
Yep.
With these two both hungry for a podium. Pelletier's had some tough luck the past couple of weeks. As we are currently working lap 37 of 50.
Oh, and Pabon loses it going into the carousel.
They're side by side through the backside of the carousel. Pabon able to keep it wound up on the high side. Pelletier with the line they touch coming through the final corner. Pabon gives him the spot. Knows he's got another shot at him.
Yep, this is where you just collect it back up. You say, okay, you cool your stuff down, you let it ride for a lap, then you go right back at him. I think Pabon knows he's got a little bit faster car. He just has to be consistent.
And the thing is now, Steve Gauthier in fifth is now starting to rear his head into the battle. As you saw the white car, there he is right there in shot, third car in shot. Ronnie Osmer one lap down, the fourth car in shot. But this battle for third could get very interesting as we are quickly approaching 10 to go.
And I'm telling you right now, Francois Pelletier, he is really getting aggressive. I mean, he was just up all over the curbs through the S's. That's a really aggressive line. Hopefully he doesn't push it too hard.
Well, this is that time of the race where you get your elbows up, you put them up on the dash, and for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the mommy daddy button. You put them up on the dash, go mine are bigger than yours, get the elbows up, and just wheel the bejesus out of the car. It's go time. Last 10 laps of this event, and it is go time. Everybody should be able to make it from here. So.
And we're seeing, Pabon, he's reeling him back in just a little bit. Just maybe a half a car length every corner. But he's getting back up there. This battle isn't over yet.
Very true. And like I said, Steve Gauthier in fifth is starting to join this battle as well. So what was a two-car battle for fifth is quickly becoming a three-car battle for third.
Yeah, we're scrolling through the field here. This battle for third is the closest battle on the racetrack right now. As these two are just... Whoa! And Pabon loses it.
No harm, no foul. Gets it stopped in China Beach.
Yep, he just came as close as you can to destroying the nose of that race car without actually doing it.
That was a masterful save to not hit anything.
That actually is exactly what I believe it was Sam Hornish did last year in one of the Childress cars here in the actual Xfinity race. Same thing, overcooked it going into that braking zone and just avoided hitting that wall. Pabon doing the same thing here.
Well, I think Pabon was really trying to make some hay going into that braking zone and just got his line wrong. So, as we're watching Pelletier right now, looking for anything under a second as far as battles go, and right now there isn't one.
No. I want to point off one of our recent off tracks. Ronnie Osmer, again, unfortunately, going into the carousel, clipped some grass and didn't hit anything, but took one wild ride through the beach.
Yes, and it looked like David Bigger was able to get around Steve Gauthier at the same time that we were watching Jose Pabon spin it.
Yeah, that's what it appears. We've had a little bit. And I tell you what, Bigger, man, he's pushing, and he might get back up to that third spot before this is all said and done.
And for those of you who don't know who we're talking about, it's the second black car on screen right there. Just going through the backside of the S's right there. That's David Bigger in the... I know my trading paint's updated, so it looks like plain black wrapper 57.
Actually, I'm getting I have the In and Out car.
In and Out, okay.
Yep.
Well, let's try trading paints again. And for those of you who don't know why I'm so upset right now, it's because Trading Paints does this to me all the effing time.
Trading Paints does this to just about everybody all the time, unfortunately. Very good program, but recent updates made it a little glitchy.
A little glitchy?
Okay, a lot of glitchy.
I would rather run Windows Millennium than Trading Paints right now.
And that sums it up perfectly, folks, if you're following along at home. But just watching, I'm just going through some of the battles here on the track right now, and everybody kind of spread out, just kind of running. Does this get down to the point, Tony, where you're hoping that the guy in front of you makes a big mistake?
That's exactly what you're hoping for right now. That's about all you can hope for right now. As Gauthier reeling in Bigger and Pelletier right now, again, it looks like it's starting to shape up as another three-car battle for third.
Yeah, I mean, there's about 10 car lengths between third, fourth, and fifth right now, but he is every corner we're watching it. He's just eating in David Bigger just a little bit on Pelletier, and I think here in the next 2 or 3 laps we could see it again.
More like the next 2 or 3 corners.
That's true. He's really coming hard.
And Trading Paints just updated again, and he is still in a black car. So thank you, Trading Paints.
Well, I'm telling you right now, Peltier's last lap a 132.03, Bigger's a 128.7. So almost 2 seconds, almost 2 seconds different as Bigger is there. He's caught him.
As we are currently 9 to go, we will be 8 to go next time across the stripe as Bigger gets to run out of the keyhole. Side by side through the kink. Pelletier looks like he's trying to cross him over, use the draft going into the S's. Let's see what happens here going into the China Beach. Bigger with the line, and here comes Gauthier.
Yep, you are right. It is a 3-car battle again. But I tell you, I don't know if Pelletier has the legs to keep up.
I don't think he does. I think he used up his stuff. He may have possibly used up his stuff earlier with that battle with Pabon.
I really believe that's a possibility because his lap times right now are considerably slower than the cars around him.
By almost 3 seconds. Almost
3 seconds, 4. Right?
Almost 4.
So it's now as the number 64 car gets way out of shape, trying to get around Pelletier.
Well, he tried to cross him over coming out of the final corner and just overcooked it. Pelletier running the defensive line up into the keyhole.
And that's, I mean, if you're him right now, that's what you've got to do. You've got to break that momentum of the car behind you. As he did coming out of the keyhole, and kind of he threw a block on turn exit, and Gauthier had to check up just a tick. Yeah, that's what he's going to have to keep doing. I don't know if he can do it for 7 more laps.
Well, but
it's a heck of a race to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And the guy you got to feel for right now is Ronnie Osmer. He's running with these guys. If If he wasn't a lap down, he'd be running in 6th. However, he is currently a lap down, running in 12th.
And believe it or not, Osmer right now running some of the fastest laps on the racetrack. So really, really putting it to him. I mean, he's running faster laps than most of these leaders.
John King with the fastest last lap so far, 28.207. So lap time starting to fall off a little bit as the tires, 21 laps on him so far, as we are 5 to go.
And
Sam Harris basically has to hand grenade the engine, miss a shift, and eat China Beach for anybody to have a chance.
And
Gauthier go to the inside of Pelletier. This is your battle for 4th. Gauthier gets the drive. Pelletier dipped 2 tires coming on exit.
Yeah, again, I don't know if he has the legs. That was a really good run for Gauthier off that corner. He did what we've been talking about. He got the right line. The engine was at the right RPMs. The rear tires hooked up, and he launched off that corner.
And now the question is, does he have anything for Bigger to get the team cars 2 and 3 on the podium again?
I know he's not going to give up. He's going to push and push and push.
Because currently his Blackadder teammate, John King, currently sits in 2nd place, 5 seconds back off of leader Steve Harris. As we are now 4 to go.
And
Harris currently showing the way with a 5.6 second lead.
Yeah, he's got to miss all kinds of shifts to give that one up.
Right, and then you're 18 seconds back to David Bigger in 3rd.
So we're talking about lap times, Tony. Gauthier that time 4/10 quicker than Bigger, so he is catching him. And I think, again, this might be one of those good last lap moments.
Absolutely. As we're riding along with Gauthier right now, following his line. You know what? We're going to go on board, and I believe we've got a helmet cam on Gauthier. Let's see what's going on there.
And I tell you, for having run this track, this is not an easy track. Real life, it's not an easy track in sim. And Gauthier right now, he's making it look easy. He's just got a very nice smooth line. He's not deviating. Unfortunately, Bigger in front of him's kind of moving around a little bit more, kind of running a slightly different line.
As he dips 2 off in front of him, here comes Gauthier. Definitely has the run coming up into the carousel.
Yep, and we'll see how it goes. And
Bigger is driving it so deep into the carousel. That's what you're seeing. Yep. As just listen to Gauthier's engine. He is just so smooth through these twists and turns, and I think that's where he's really making up the time.
And if he wants to cross him over, that is a double apex corner, that carousel. And these cars right now, they're just running that defensive line.
Here it comes.
And and he's setting him up for a run off the keyhole into the S's.
He's going to do it on the high side.
Oh, that's
side by side, and there it goes. Snap. See you, bye.
Yep, Bigger just let him have it.
Well, Bigger knew he didn't have anything for him at that point because it was kind of academic at that point.
That's very true. And right now, I'd imagine a 5th place or a 4th place is a lot better than a trip to the digital nationwide hospital down the road.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want those digital tow trucks to have to be digging you out of China Beach, too. So just definitely just let him go. As Osmer got through as well.
And again, Osmer running some really good laps. He's running almost 127 laps. As you see him look to the inside of the 64, of course, that'll put him in the outside of the carousel. And I think Ronnie's just now trying to show that he had something to prove. The night didn't go the way he wanted it to.
As
but
he gets
he's
the
shown that he's got-
crossover and just makes it look that easy. That's what we were talking about earlier by that young man, is he knows when it's time to go. And like you said, he's got something to prove right now that, hey, you guys are lucky I'm not on the lead lap right now because I got dumped earlier. And, race control, I was talking with Taylor prior to the race. He didn't see the incident that took place at Iowa with the same guy that dumped Ronnie. So there may be ramifications coming down for the 017.
That's always a possibility. Of course, we have a lot of competitors. Everyone wants to drive hard. Everyone wants to do well. But sometimes if you push it a little bit too hard, a little bit too often, the wrong people might take notice.
Right. Right now, though, we're watching Pelletier starting to reel back in David Bigger. I think Pelletier was just saving his tires for the last couple of laps, as we are currently 3 to go.
It's very possible because they're right back to it. So Bigger just off the bumper.
That's your battle for third, and that is now a 4-car battle.
Yep, because here comes the 19 back at it again.
And here comes the 32. So there's 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th all right there. Now, granted, 1st and 2nd are 27.5 seconds up the road, but...
And I'm wondering if all these cars didn't cook their equipment running amongst themselves, because they are all running now very far off the pace.
David Bigger, yeah. Everybody except Taylor Lane. Lane's last lap was 27.8.
Okay, and that's very fast for this stage of the race.
Yes, especially when the leader's last lap was 29.5.
So I'm wondering if Gauthier, Bigger, and Francois Peltier did not cook their equipment.
There it goes into the S's.
Oh.
Business just picked up.
Yes, it did. This is an incredible battle through this section of the racetrack.
Bigger got by Gauthier going into the S's. Gauthier was able to throw the block on Pelletier, though.
And I can imagine as we're coming down, we're really close to a lap to go here. If Peltier, he runs pretty clean, but I wonder if he won't give it just a little bump and run, if any of these guys won't attempt that in the last lap.
As we watch him dip 2 just before the carousel, and Osmer's basically just checked out from this battle. So, as far as stuff to prove, you don't even see Osmer in shot anymore. That's how far up the road he is.
That's very true. He's kind of left these guys to their own devices.
There he is, just going into the keyhole uphill now, as these guys are just getting ready to start the crest. So it's a little bit of lockup for Bigger as he goes into the keyhole. Here comes Gauthier back on him. Gauthier looked like he got a little bit better drive on the corner off. And Lane and Pelletier side by side for 5th.
And Lane is going to try it on the outside.
Still side by side. Lane still side by side.
That is hard to do through there. He's going to clear him at the top of the hill.
Wow. The respect shown there and just the trust, as we are currently 2 to go. And
that's not
Sam Harris, something's wrong with Sam Harris's car. The battle for the lead just woke up. You see, there's Harris, there's the 55 going wide, and John King's right behind him.
I wonder if he didn't spin it or something, because his last lap time is 1:29.1.
I think he may have gotten sketchy coming through a couple of corners, as we are 1 to go. So we're watching to see if King has anything for Harris. He better show it quick as they come through the S's. And it doesn't
And
look like he does.
Yeah, it looks like Harris is pulling out just a little bit on him.
But we are going to follow this battle for the lead. There goes Harris, running for Blackadder Motorsports. So Blackadder Motorsports currently sits 1, 2, and 4.
That is impressive. As Harris is working his way into the into the carousel one final time. As long as he keeps his wheels under him, I think he's going to have it.
One last shot, and King's not going to do it. Harris hangs on for the win. King for third. Here's the battle for third.
And yeah,
Gauthier wants it. He wants an all Blackadder podium.
He is using that front end.
Oh, you see the backside of Bigger's car just beat all to hell.
All right,
going to have one final shot at him. Here we go into the final corner.
I don't think he's quite. Oh, here he comes. He's on the inside. It's going to be a drag race.
He got
it. Oh, as he
it's an all Blackadder Motorsports podium.
Oh, man, there might be some hurt feelings after that one. He and Bigger, that was a hard hit. But, man, that was a good race.
That was one hell of a finish. I've got to say, that was just straight up one hell of a finish. Congratulations to Blackadder Motorsports.
And your heart has to break just a little bit for Bigger. He had that podium finish going, and he comes up about 100 yards shy when the 64 got a run on him.
Let me see if I can find the Blackadder guys here.
Man.
I'm not seeing them yet. Come on, I know you guys have to be here. No, and no. Okay, so unfortunately, nobody from Blackadder Motorsports in Team Speed.
We're running next week.
And Tony, I'm watching that race for third off that final corner, and I don't know what happened to the 57. It almost looked like he wasn't under power coming through that final corner because there was no get up and go off the corner. As a matter of fact, Gauthier almost ran over him coming out of the corner.
So he ran out of fuel.
Oh, Bigger was out of fuel.
Bigger ran out of fuel.
Okay, well that's what happened.
So that answers the question as to what happened with Gauthier. He was just trying to throw a block to try to keep Gauthier behind him, but Blackadder Motorsports 1, 2, and 3. Sam Harris, John King, Steve Gauthier. Awesome finish for those guys.
Yeah, those guys. It was a great show to watch tonight, especially for that battle for third to fifth place. Those guys were just going all out for those positions.
Oh yeah, that was the true definition of stock cars on a road course. I mean, that looked like a Friday night special. Just they were turning right too.
Unfortunately, Steve Gauthier looks like he may have also run out of fuel and already got out of his car. As we take a look at two of the Blackadder drivers right there, parking perfectly in front of the camera for the smoky burnout. Burn them down, boys. Burn them down. The 98 of Sam Harris joining with his teammate John King. Just locking the front brakes up. Congratulations all around. Did I hear you say we're at Bristol next week, sir?
Yep, Bristol Motor Speedway next week under the lights.
That.
Oh man.
Should be interesting.
Be prepared.
Get your.
If anyone.
Bristol in stock cars should be a drinking game. Every time two cars touch, take a drink. Anytime somebody gets shoved into the wall, take a drink. If you don't die of alcohol poisoning by the end of the event, you win.
That's a good game.
Okay, so
I think some of the drivers may be playing that game next week.
True story. So Taylor, what happened with the 07? We saw him get parked earlier. What took place, sir?
to be honest, I really don't know what happened to Ray. I think the biggest surprise actually was seeing Dallas Pataska disconnecting early.
Yeah, that was a surprise. That definitely was a surprise there. As we'll bring the standings back up so you folks
I
can
was going
see
to
where
say,
your
it
favorite
actually,
driver finished.
it doesn't show Pataska, at least on my screen, as actually having started.
Yeah, it doesn't even show him he started, but he did start because he disconnected after 4 laps of green flag racing.
Yeah,
So I
I've got
wonder if he may
Pataska
have had
sitting 50 laps down, and I've got Gary Bauer doing the same. But of the cars that did get scored, Zach Brew, 27 laps down, Chris Gutierrez, 27 laps down, Ray Black Jr., 26 laps down. So a lot of surprises there.
And I just want to point out, Ronnie Osmer again. Sean Dewar went a lap down right there in the last few laps, and Osmer was able to chase him down. Not quite a top 10, but a big bounce back for him. He finished 11th.
I see that. I do see that, and that's one thing that we were talking about that young man having the kid's an animal behind the wheel, and I mean that in the best possible way. Where if you need somebody to do some last minute heroics, Ronnie Osmer's your guy. Calm and cool under pressure. I've been singing that kid's praises since I first saw him run an IndyCar. And he just proved he can do it in a stock car as well. Real tough break for him getting punted earlier. Just before the bridge there, or actually right under the bridge, before going into turn number 1. Just the 07 just completely arca braked him.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate event. Deeply upset about that because Ronnie did have the car to beat. Even after that damage, he was still able to keep up with the top 3 to a degree.
Well, he didn't just keep up with him.
Field.
He just blasted by him.
Yeah.
So.
But as my grandfather used to say, I love that term, you live and you learn. And I know for a fact the next time a lot of these guys show up to this course, this track, this car, things are going to be different. And
yes.
It's still going to be a great show to watch.
Yeah, definitely, and it was a great show to watch tonight.
Yes.
I mean, granted, for the most part, Sam Harris kind of stunk the show up, for lack of a better term. Had over a 5-second lead at one point. So yeoman's work for John King to bring it back to half a second at the finish. But definitely an exciting race to watch, especially that finish for third with Gauthier able to join his teammates on the podium. Blackadder Motorsports just decimating the field tonight with 1, 2, and 3.
Yep. And now off to Bristol Motor Speedway. So looking forward to seeing that race go on, and hopefully we'll have some good racing under the lights. Definitely.
Bristol's always a great show, guys.
Absolutely. Bristol is always fun to watch in just about any car. There's a couple cars where you're looking at it going, are you guys on illicit substances? Whenever I see the stuff posted and open hosted, but hey, that rhymes. But everybody stay tuned. Like I said earlier, that's not what I said earlier, but anyways, if you're interested in joining the RTFT, they do run Sunday nights with the newer drivers. Same cars, fixed setup, same tracks. Run there, impress league management, and you'll get the call up to the Pro Series as well. If you are interested in joining the RTFT Pro Allstar League, go ahead and drop a comment below with your iRacing name. We'll get that passed on to Taylor and get you added to the Sunday Night AM Series. and hopefully see you guys on track in one of the Monday night broadcasts.
Yep, always looking forward to seeing new drivers.
So, and I was told earlier that there's going to be some additions coming to the broadcast as far as the RTFT Allstar Racing League goes. Can't share with you what they are yet. Just know that they are awesome things that are going to be happening relatively soon. And to stay posted, I think that's about all we have to say. KP, you got anything else you want to add to
No.
to this broadcast of the RTFT All-Star Racing League Buckeye 50?
I just want to thank you guys for having me. It was great to be here. I know it was a last-second replacement, but it was a fun race to watch, and definitely saw some good cars out there. There's some really good. You guys have some really good road racers, some really good talent. And if you ever need us again, let me know. But very
KP,
good race tonight, guys.
you're always welcome in the booth whenever I'm broadcasting, bud.
I will remember that. You might regret that one day.
Never. So, for Kevin Paskowich, for league owner and race control Taylor Burris, Tony Trapasso saying we will see you next Monday night from the Bristol Motor Speedway in iRacing.